Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for carving time out of your night to come and be a part of this really special call that we're doing. Some of you guys are customers that are already trying the products. You are loving the products. Some of you are brand new and you're like, my friend invited me to this because she thinks that I would somehow be good at doing what she does. I'm super skeptical, but I'm curious to hear a little bit more. Wherever you fall in the realm of that, we are so thankful that you're here. My name is Emily. I have two young daughters and an amazing husband, and I've been a part of Plexus for 5.5 years. But I love the theme of this call being where we've got multiple women sharing about their hesitations with starting up a business with Plexus, starting up the products with Plexus, but specifically the opportunity side, because I think that's a very normal feeling of the unknown, of like I've heard things about network marketing, or I've seen people do it in a way that is really unattractive to me, but I'm also curious about this business model because it looks like it could be a really big blessing. And I love this theme because it is so relatable. And so I was extremely skeptical. I can't say the word skeptical. Oh my gosh, how do I say that word? Skeptical. That's how you say it, right? Yes. That's how I was very skeptical. My friend that I went to college with, she sent me 3 sticks of the Slim, the pink drink, in the mail. I didn't ask her for it, but she sent them to me, and I didn't understand what they were. I saw friends of mine sharing on social media about this infamous pink drink, and there was a correlation between them drinking this and them looking really good and fitting into their jeans again and having this energy and sleeping through the night. And so I felt like there surely are chemicals in here that are going to be bad for my body in the future. So I'm not at all interested. So I threw them in the trash. And then over those years, I continued to see friends of mine sharing about the products, sharing about how they were taking them to their doctors or their nurse practitioners or their pharmacists and getting the stamp of approval because the products, they're supplements, they're vitamins, they're minerals, they're really good for you. They're probiotics. I was learning more about what they were. And so that skepticism started to shift a little bit into seeing, okay, well, maybe these products are actually what people are saying they are, and they're actually helping people. But even more than the interest in the products, I became curious about the opportunity because my husband and I both worked in ministry. We did not have much money at all. We were very, very tight, regardless of how many extra jobs we were working and how much we were saving or trying to save by only shopping at thrift stores and yard sales. We were super tight. So that curiosity of the business really hit me multiple times. The first time was when I saw that girlfriend who had sent me those samples that I had thrown away. She sent me a card, and in the card, she listed out attributes that she saw in me that made her believe I would be successful. So she was starting to build my belief because she saw strengths in me that I didn't see. So that was the first thing. The second thing that made me start thinking about this opportunity was that same girl. She was holding her pink drink in front of this beautiful dream home that she and her husband built for their family, for their daughters, and for themselves. And they had lived in a teeny tiny rundown little thing in Arkansas, and they were able to go and buy this beautiful dream home for their family in a safe neighborhood and a safe school district. And she said, because of this pink drink, our family's life has been changed. That hit me hard because I had many goals similar to that. I wanted to change things for my family. The third thing that made me start to shift in my skepticism was a different girlfriend that I'd gone to college with. She was a mom of four. She was working full time at a hospital, and she was able to leave her full time job and go home and homeschool all four of her boys because Plexus was supplementing her income. That was very attractive to me. I wanted to be home with my daughters. I didn't want to have to clock in 9 to 5. I didn't want to be doing a job that I wasn't passionate about. I didn't want to be doing a job where I wasn't really in control of my schedule or of my bonuses or of my income. I wanted to have that freedom. I wanted to have that flexibility. I wanted to be home with my children, and I wanted to not have a cap on what I was doing. I knew I wanted a job where I knew like I could work hard and I could see benefit financially coming from my efforts. And that has changed everything for our family. We started in 2017 with that vision. One of the visions was getting my family into our dream neighborhood, which was in a safe neighborhood. And the neighborhood I grew up in, where my parents are, where a great school is, that was something that really drove me. Another thing that really drove me was getting my husband out of a job that he didn't love so he could go and pursue something that God had just really put on his heart to do. So I had two really big things that, even though I was nervous and I was afraid of becoming that girl, I was able to shift it to where I was serving other people and I was helping other people. I was educating other people with the things that I was learning. And it has quickly gone from this passion of mine to like my purpose of changing things for our family and then changing things for so many other families. And it has been so beautiful to see, going from skepticism to just total fulfillment. So that's my story. I'm going to pass it off to somebody else.
Hi, everyone. My name is Danielle. I am super glad to be on tonight. I have been loving Plexus products for over 2 years now. So I was sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, point blank. And when I started Plexus 2 years ago, you guys, I was 1 year postpartum with my middle child. I had a 10-year-old boy. I was working full time. I had a full-time business. Kind of responsible for everything, getting kids to school, getting supper, making sure we had groceries, feeding the dog, like you name it, it's on my plate. And on top of that, I felt like garbage. Okay. I didn't feel great. I was constantly doing the things that I should be doing to feel better, such as working out, watching what I'm eating, going to bed earlier because I was tired. It didn't matter. No matter what I did, I was still tired. I was still exhausted. I still felt like garbage. I had terrible joint pain. I felt miserable, point blank. And up to that point, the many years leading up to that point, I had tried lots of things. You guys, Herbalife, Isagenix, Shakeology, Beachbody, it works. I've tried them. I've tried them all, and I've tried them all faithfully, and I failed miserably at all of them. They were not a good fit for my lifestyle. They did not help me feel better in those earlier stages of my life. So 2 years ago, I was seeing a friend share, and I'm like, I'm going to reach out and see what happens. I gave it a try. And in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm sick of feeling like garbage. I've tried a million other things. They're not working, but putting the stress on myself to do more and be healthier and be more fit and make better food choices, that wasn't working either. Okay. So I didn't have a lot of high hopes going into it that it was going to work, but I was hoping it would work. I know that sounds really silly, but I was hoping. Okay. So I went ahead and gave it a try. And what I learned is that it worked. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized, thanks, Kara. The more I realized that all of those other things that I tried weren't a good fit because they were putting more stress on me to change my lifestyle, which, don't get me wrong, exercise and good eating are important. And healthy lifestyle changes are very important. So I'm not saying they're not, but feeling the pressure to follow a strict diet program and cut out your meal and replace it with the shake and make sure that you're getting this workout in, on this day, those types of things for the lifestyle that I had and all the stressors that I had and all the responsibilities I had did not serve me well. It did not fit my lifestyle. And so what I loved about this is the products were working because they were simple, they fit into my busy lifestyle, and they did not add more stress to my plate. You guys, it was adding a supplement at bedtime when I brush my teeth. Okay. That is way easier for someone who is at work starving and all they're going to eat is a shake because, well, they're not supposed to have a sandwich because you're supposed to replace it. Like, it just blew my mind how simple it was. And after about a month in, you guys, I noticed so many changes: energy, sleep, mood. It goes on and on and on. I noticed so many improvements. And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? My friends that are doing all these other things, they're still not feeling better. They're putting more pressure on themselves. But my friend who shared Plexus with me, her son is no longer taking Miralax to poop. These products clearly work, and they were working for me. Fast forward now, I've been loving the products for 2 years. They have changed literally everything all the way around. And I could not be more happy with the decision I made to give it a try because I'm no longer feeling sick and tired. Even though I am a little sick right now, I've got like a little cold going on. but disregard. Other than that, I'm feeling, even though I have a cold, I haven't drank a pop all day. It is 8 o'clock at night and the laundry still is going to get done tonight, and I'm going to do the other work that I need to do. So that is awesome. One other thing I wanted to share. I wasn't super convinced that these products were going to work, right? Whatever, gave it a try. Why not? I've tried other things, could be worse. Okay. Same mindset when Lacey asked me if I would share about the products. And I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. Been down this road before. Like, she's like, yeah, but I'll help get your products paid for. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to try this because I want to support you. But I've been down this road before with other friends too, and I know better. And I have to share this. I have this giant box right here, guys, full of lip products. The same scenario. My cousin, I was supporting her. I love the lip product. And she's like, oh, you'll get it cheaper and it's a great way to make income and blah, blah, blah. I have a giant box of lip product because it requires inventory and all those things. And so I was skeptical. Okay. I shared with some friends and I learned quickly, like, oh my goodness, this is really simple to follow the steps. You share from your heart, you share passionately about products you love, and it does actually cover the cost of your products. Like, what is going on? Absolutely mind blown. So, from being a skeptic about the products and whether or not they would help me feel better, to even being a skeptic of, like, is it even really possible to get your products paid for? Because how much money do you have to really spend? You guys, it is so real. It is such a blessing. It is such an opportunity. And I have been able to pay down and save up more than I ever would have had I not just been willing to reach out and share with friends that I was feeling better. Not pushing them for a lifestyle change, not telling them to cut calories or work out more or add more stress to their lives. Just give it a try, heal your body, and then genuinely share with your friends that you know are struggling with those same things. So I need to pass it on. Sorry if I rambled fast. If you have questions, please reach out. I would love to share.
Hi, everybody. My name's Catherine, and I'm going to speak a little bit to, or I guess my topic is, if you have questions for the girl who definitely couldn't fit it in her budget, that's me. So I was kind of the broke college student. So a little bit about my story. I kind of sat back and watched Hannah for probably a year. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I kind of relate to all of these. And so I was absolutely the skeptic where, like, I knew that prioritizing my health and like paying for quality over quantity was so important. And so, like, I knew that deep down, but I just didn't have the space in my budget for it. But I was also just like skeptical, like, is this network marketing thing real? Are the products, like, are they good? Are they what they say they are? And now, like a year later, I can absolutely say yes. But I am like a very thoughtful thinker. And so it took me a while. But after I kind of decided, okay, like, this is something that's important for my health, I had to figure out, like, okay, how am I going to fit this in my budget? Because at the time I was taking a gap year because my health was so poor. I struggled with just, really severe hormonal issues. I'd lost my cycle for a couple years earlier due to an eating disorder. I'd struggled with epilepsy and just things that just, my body was under a lot of stress, and my hormone levels were like around the levels of a 75-year-old woman. And my body felt that. And so I was taking a break. I wasn't working and I wasn't going to school. So I didn't have a steady income. I was doing some babysitting here and there, but really I didn't have it in my budget to be consistent with the products for several months. And I knew the importance of giving these products a chance. And I knew that I couldn't just try it for a month and step out because that wouldn't be worth it. And so I had the money to pay for the first month, but then it was like, okay, I need to figure out a way to get these paid for. And Plexus really prides themselves on removing that objection or removing that reason for not trying the products, for not feeling better. And I kind of knew that, but until I experienced it, I didn't really realize the impact that would have for me, but also for the people that I was sharing it with. And so I shared it with my mom and with my uncle and who else? It was my mom's best friend. So I shared it with them. And I got to have these just basically accountability partners as I started my health journey. And that money that I had, like I said, I didn't have much room in my budget for anything really. But supporting other people on their health journey while helping my own health allowed me to pay for Christmas gifts for my family that year and pay for my products. And so the blessing of like, I got to give like so much from that. And so that was just a huge, huge blessing. So I definitely have like stayed consistent with the products because again, I knew that that would be important. And it was hard for me. I think if anyone has walked through a health journey, health struggles, you understand the importance of patience and the importance that like this like is working to address the root cause and it's not a quick fix, but it has huge impacts for your health. And so I was consistent with it. And that's when I started seeing changes with my energy. It used to be I would do one thing. I'd go out with one person and I would come back and I'd have to like lay on the couch and sleep. And so coming back and being able to like have capacity to be with people more, to do things with friends, to actually just do the things I loved again and felt more like myself was the greatest gift. My cycle started to regulate. So instead of having 19 days from one cycle to the next, and then 35 and then 22, I am now within like 3 days, which is a healthy range of where it should be. I am regular, which is a huge blessing. But one of the biggest ones I was kind of talking with this about this particular thing with some girls this past weekend is I used to kind of fall into this like, I called it like a pit of depression a little bit during the winter months. And while I still kind of struggle, I would have some hard weeks. Last year was the first year, and I'm just praise God for the blessing of this. But last year was the first year that I remember being in tears with my mom last year because it was the first year I felt like I didn't fall into this pit that I couldn't like get out of. I maybe had a hard week, but it was like balancing my hormones and taking care of my gut health had incredible impacts for my mental health as well, which is a huge blessing. So if cost is a concern for you right now, I would just encourage you, don't be afraid to find some people to do this with you. I know the whole network marketing thing was scary for me because of the stigma or all this, but this is a community of women that cares for each other and that shares because we care about the people that we're sharing it with. And we know the impact this has had for our health and our families. And we want that for you as well. And so knowing that you can bring people along with you to share this and to love on them and to walk with them is a huge gift. So anyway, just don't let being a broke college student or just not having the margin, which there's no shame in that. And there's just don't feel any shame for not having the margin, but this can create that for you. And that's what we would want for you is margin and better health. So if you have questions, just reach out to the person that invited you. I think I'm passing off to Carly.
Yep, it's me.
Carly. Oh,
Yep. Hi,
you're
guys.
going. Okay.
Can you hear me? Am I off mute? There we go. Hi, guys. I'm Carly, and I live in Alexandria, Minnesota. And I am super excited to be here and share a little bit about my story and a little bit more about what Plexus has done for me and continues to do for me. So overall, I want to say I was pretty healthy when I started Plexus. I really didn't have any specific health goals or health issues that I was looking for. I worked out regularly. I ate healthy. I drank my water. I took the supplements. Mind you, they were different supplements every month probably, and it was not consistent. And so there was not really that part of my health journey was lacking. And so I was introduced to Plexus in October of 2019 from my sister. And it was kind of like in one ear, out the other. Like it wasn't for me. We didn't have the same health goals, and I just had different things. I was in college at the time, and it was not a priority for me. And so I watched and was very skeptical of it and kind of looked at my sister, like, what are you doing? What are you getting yourself into? And then I started to see like changes in her and changes in the testimonies that she was sharing. And so I then decided in January of 2020 to just give it a shot. Again, I was in college and I was dealing with, issues that like I didn't think were not normal. I thought it was normal to have a stomach ache all the time and normal to not go to the bathroom every day. And so when I started, I didn't see these like huge changes because I didn't have this like very big issue that I was focused on. And so it gave me a little bit of, or it took me a little time to really start to notice a change. But after a few months of consistency and like being consistent with the products, I actually remember about a month in, I remember calling my sister and being like, okay, these aren't working. You know, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. I don't have the money. I don't have the funds to do it. And she was like, I'm going to encourage you to give it 30 more days. And so I did. And I'm so, so thankful that I did, because behind the scenes, she was kind of like, okay, are you going to the bathroom every day? And I wasn't, and that is not normal. And after giving it more time, I am now noticing better sleep, or at that time I was noticing better sleep. I have energy. I don't need the 3 p.m. coffee to get me through the end of the day. I am going to the bathroom every single day. And today, 2 years later, like so much more. And it's been such a blessing. And so in June of 2020, I started to share. And so it was kind of like Catherine mentioned, you know, like, who can I find 3 people, you know, that will want to start this with me. And so it was here and there that I would share, and it was kind of like in the pockets of my day. I am married and I have a 14-month-old at home, and I'm in medical sales. And so my job is, you know, it's very, you know, I'm working a lot and I'm with my family and I'm trying to figure out where I can fit this in. And so I had a vision of what I wanted my life to look like. And I saw all these things, and I wanted to stay at home, and I wanted to pay off debt, and I wanted to, you know, have more time freedom and flexibility. And I wanted that all, but I had doubts. And I was like, okay, I have this status quo normal job. I work 8 to 5. I come home. I, you know, do what everybody else does in that really short period of time. But that's not, I wanted so much more. And I feel like it's just the norm to go to that 8 to 5 and to come home, have dinner, go to bed, and start all over again. And as I started to kind of learn more about Plexus and the opportunities and the financial blessings that it had brought to people, and not only financial blessings, but like I said, time freedom and flexibility, all of that, I was like, I want this so bad. And so the more time and energy I put into my vision of what I saw, what could be for my life, it just became so much brighter. And I have a vision for Plexus to help me break away from that 9 to 5. And I want to be home with my son and future babies. And I want to be able to pack up my bags and take a trip and not have to, you know, ask my boss for PTO and like worrying about finances. And I want to pay off student loans. And so there's all these things that we want. And I feel like we just feel like it's just normal to have to just do what everybody else is doing and not step away from something that can bring you, like, there's so much more out there to bring so much joy to you. So just from dipping my toes in and sharing casually to now treating this like a business, and being purposeful about what I'm doing, I'm so excited about the opportunities and the possibility to eventually one day step away from my 9 to 5 and just be like, just, you know, have just so many opportunities. And I think with Plexus and with consistency and hard work, this is all 100% possible for anyone that's willing to put in the time and put in the effort. And I was just a quick story. A group of us went to Arizona this last weekend, and we had the opportunity to spend some time as a team, but also spend time in our headquarters. And just leaving there, I had like butterflies in my stomach, because I'm like, this company is amazing. The excitement when you walk through headquarters and people are kind to you and look excited about being at work, and just the vision and the opportunities that Plexus has to offer is like, I just get excited talking about it, because there's just so much there. So that is my story. And if you have questions or would be interested in learning more about my side of it, I'm happy to reach out. And I think it's Hannah's turn. No?
My turn.
Oh, your turn.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'll be really quick. So my topic is for the girl who is worried about what people think of her. And this one really applies to me because I watched Hannah for 4 years share about Plexus. And my own backstory is that I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism in 2017. And it was in like the early 21, I started to see functional medicine and just was tired of like, yeah, sure, my labs were normal, but I didn't feel normal. Oh, sorry. I have a night owl today. And then we got pregnant again with this one, and Hannah was also pregnant at the same time. And she's still there sharing about Plexus. And so I reached out to her and got some products in November of last year and just was really looking for all the health benefits. I understood about gut health. I knew the importance of my gut health and hypothyroidism, autoimmune Hashimoto's, and knew that this was probably going to be a good answer to take care of my thyroid and give myself a healthy pregnancy, also hoping for some milk supply benefits when baby came. And then we bought a house right before we moved at like 38 weeks pregnant. Don't recommend doing that. And I, at the time, Adeline was enrolled in this program called Little Gym here. They were going to raise their rates for the next fall. And we knew that like with our new mortgage and all that, just things were probably going to have to cut back. And then this little baby's born and I'm sitting there on maternity leave. And I just started to be, really had this feeling in my heart that like I needed to stop giving power to fear, and that there were so many people popping up all around me doing some type of network marketing, that like network marketing is the future, that there is that's just the day and age that we live in with everything online, that is just another honest avenue to make money. And I just started really thinking about the no's that I was having to say in our life, for my children. And I don't want to have to say those no's because cost of living is rising. And so not only was I feeling so incredible postpartum and with my Hashimoto's at the time, but then I started to realize like other people need this. And if they, like, I have people in my life that probably could benefit from this, and that why wouldn't I share? Like, why wouldn't I share these awesome products that have so much to offer to people from a really good company? And so I started to feed another pathway in my brain that was the more like the what if we could say yes to Little Gym? What if I helped people feel better? What if people said yes? And how would I know the answer to that question unless I shared? And so I called Hannah up and I made a post, and so far I have helped a couple dozen people, and it does feel really good to know that people are on their way to these beautiful health journeys, all because I chose to say yes instead of no. And so I just want to encourage you, if that's where you're at, that these products are not just going to change your own life, but you're going to see them change other people's lives. And side note, back to my hypothyroidism, I have now lowered my dose 3 times, and I feel so much better than I've ever felt since diagnosis 5 years ago. So anyway, wrapping up, and it will be on to Hannah now.
Thank you so much for sharing. What incredible stories. And this is so encouraging and inspiring to hear of products that are working, and like stories of people sharing and being able to help other people. So my name's Hannah, and I am a nurse in Boise. You could call me kind of crunchy, where I'm just really concerned about what goes in and on my body. And so I spent several months researching the products to make sure it was only good, nothing harmful, and didn't expect health wins, but I started seeing that I wasn't relying on caffeine to make it through the day. I wasn't needing a nap. I wasn't revolving around the next time I could sleep. I wasn't digging in the pantry for the sweet tooth fix, and my digestion regulated and my milk supply took off. So that's a really quick version of just some things that I was noticing. I was learning a lot about gut health and blood sugar balance and inflammation. And so I was open with my journey, the things I was feeling, the things that I was learning. And I began to help other people who were also looking for products that worked, and they were on health struggles, and they were going through the ringer. And so it really fueled this passion of being able to help people outside of just slapping a Band-Aid on root issues. And the paychecks were coming in, and I would never anticipated or expected that. And within a year, I was matching my part-time nursing income. And it was kind of in this moment that the light bulb went off, that the opportunity is very real. Like, it is not just this pyramid scheme or like get rich quick thing that some people get into this wanting, and then they do it wrong and it's slimy. And that's not how it is. We've always been very like people focused, servant driven. It's about relationships and just helping people. And so when that awareness came and realized that network marketing, direct sales is cutting out that middleman, where you don't have celebrity endorsements, you're not paying millions of dollars for the commercials and the advertisement. You are literally just going from the warehouse to the home, and we get to rep with the companies and just and share stories and help people get started. Like, that is it. And the company then rewards us. So the paychecks are going into the homes for people to pay off debt, for people to put their kids in ballet lessons, the extracurricular activities, to fill their gas tank and their groceries. Like, it gives me chills to think about like an incredible company like Plexus being able to provide for these people, because we have incredible products that are working. And so my thing is like, well, I don't have time for this. Time is not existed. I have 4 children. I'm homeschooling. I was working as a nurse. And when I did start 5 years ago, I had a 6-month-old baby and a 2-year-old, and I was very needed and just didn't have an extra hour in the day. Right. But what I did was made time. I stopped the Netflix binge watching. I stopped mindless scrolling. I woke up early, even 30 minutes before a nursing shift, so that I could be productive with what my time would look like. It was working during my kids' nap time, maybe a couple late nights. Like, it was then starting to shift my priorities. Really, it wasn't about needing more time. It was just making trade-offs, because I knew that if I put in the time then I would be able to have more days at home with my babies. I would be able to stop the rat race of drop off, pick up, rush to the sports, rush to the dinner time, to bedtime, to do it all over the next day. I knew that I would be able to pay off the student loans that would bring my husband and I to tears because of that financial burden and stress that we felt, and having no margin in our life. And then I knew that we would be able to have time flexibility, and I wouldn't be this stressed out, burnt out nurse anymore, where I had nothing left over, and being able to travel more. And so I look back in these 5 years and I see these things that have come to fruition, where I am full-time now with my kids. We have paid off that mountain of student loan debt. We do have more freedom with our schedules and traveling and not asking for PTO and working holidays and weekends and nights and all of those things. And it's just like an incredible gift to know that you put in the work and you put in the time, and then these things that were once dreams and vision for what could be for your life has now become reality. And so that is just what like fuels me in knowing that when your life isn't what you're going on the path that you hope for in a year, 3 years, 5 years from now, what are you doing to change it? And that is exactly what this can be, is that answer for you to then realign, like put in that time, realign your priorities and make this fit and work. And it's such a beautiful thing. So I just want you to all know that we're all busy. But when you find products that you love and you have a compensation plan that will provide those choices for your family, it's totally worth digging in and going and doing the uncomfortable things. So that is all we have for you tonight. I hope that you've been encouraged and that you are willing to take that leap, whatever that looks like for you in your life. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good night.